Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I have a very exciting video for you. Today I will finally show off and review the perfect knife for E.D.C. You know, for many years, companies have searched for the perfect E.D.C design. They've tried different steels, they've tried different materials, handles, lockups, different, opening mechanisms, different blade profiles, different all kinds of different things. They've made all kinds of different variations, and finally, a company has managed to nail it. In fact, Spyderco, a company that I've featured many times on the channel, has finally, they have managed to create a knife that is absolutely 100% beyond anything else, completely and totally perfect for E.D.C. That is, of course, emergently disentangling cetaceans. And that's this little guy right here. This is the Spyderco whale rescue knife. So first off, I want to thank very much my buddy Brian for sending this guy along. He has this specially modified version of the whale rescue knife, and I wouldn't have gotten a chance to check it out otherwise. So thank you so very, very much for that, Brian. Next thing, we'll do a little bit of a size comparison. We can see here that this guy is not a tiny knife. Here it is against the Ontario Rat number 2. Here it is against your Spyderco Delica, which is around here someplace. Come here, Delica. There we are. Here it is. So you can see here that your Delica and your Rat 2 together almost add up to the length of the whale rescue blade here. And then finally, here it is against your Spyderco Paramilitary 2. So there's your size comparison. And then finally, a quick note. This particular knife has had 2 small modifications done to it. One is that they have removed a little bit of the rounded tip off of the end of this guy, which is a little bit less practical for everyday life, but perhaps a little bit more practical for rescuing whales. And then it has also had a handle added to it. This was created, I believe, by Knockwood Blades, and is a beautiful thing. So anyways, let's go on ahead and go into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of your Spyderco whale rescue knife. So first off, on the good side, this is a completely rust-proof steel. It is H1 steel, which is completely, look, unlike carbon steel blades, you just don't need to keep this whale oiled. I'm not just spouting off here. This absolutely will not rust, nor will it corrode in any other way. I'm very happy to provide cetaceans for this if anybody doubts this claim, but H1 is well known not to rust, and that's a beautiful thing. Next thing, this guy has a nice long recurve here for effective rope cutting. I think this is going to be a net gain for many users who have that particular need, and it draws a line in the sand in terms of overall performance relative to a bunch of other rope cutting design knives. This is very nice in that regard. Next thing, this has relatively thick stock to avoid breakage. Generally, I tend to advocate that companies keep their blades thin, but in this case, well, it's not like you're cutting apples, so most will agree with me that this stock adds durability at relatively low cost. I think that is a very nice thing. Next thing, the original version has a dulled tip here on the end to avoid poking the whale as you're trying to rescue it. Most will have that round stubby tip. This one, however, this is a fluke. But please, please, please don't be that guy in the comments blubbering about danger to your rescue subjects. This is absolutely a modified version, but I like that the original has that dulled tip there. Then finally, on the good side, the serrations on this come quite sharp, very much so. To loosely quote Doug Marcaida, it will krill. So 100%, this is a serrated, seriously sharp knife. So on the good side, this has sharp serrations, a dull tip to avoid poking the rail, thick stock, the whale that is, thick stock to avoid breakage, a recurve for effective rope cutting, and a completely rust-proof steel. On the great side, to me, this guy is beautifully made for the task at hand. No one else is making a good quality knife for this. And so when a quality option emerged, they managed to blow whole segments of the whale rescue knife market out of the water. And I love that Spyderco as an organization is willing to make these kinds of specialized pieces. Seriously, no one else is doing that, and it's a beautiful thing. So to me, that's what's great, is that it is beautifully made for the task at hand. On the bad side, it is $120. Honestly, that's a fair chunk of change. I sure wouldn't mind if it were half the price. It's so specialized, though. Look, as much as I want to complain, it's so specialized that I have to counter shading from the blog spear on the price point that, it's fine. It's okay. The price has been well earned by the specialized nature of the piece here. So, yeah, I'd like to see it cheaper, but I don't think the price is so bad. Next thing, there is no sheath here. This is not a folder. There is no flipper. Carry is not straightforward. And you run a very strong risk of breaching your leg during daily carry without a sheath. For the price, honestly, I can understand that many people might not need one, but that's not right. You should include the sheath. Next thing, it is pretty big. Look, it's not a huge problem, but I wouldn't want to pull this out in Starbucks. It's a little bit, and look, even take the everyday side of it out, it gets very, very expensive to mail across the country. Luckily, I have very generous viewers who are happy to cover shipping costs dollar for dollar. But nevertheless, when I see something I want to check out like this, it may be easy for me to take a peek wad, but it's going to be prohibitively expensive. And it's when the shipping companies are being a dick on rates unless you use their mobile app. I mean, no, I'm sorry. So, unfortunately, size-wise, this is a little big, both for shipping and for everyday life. I mean, seriously, it's a beefy one. Next thing, design-wise, I gotta be honest, it's a little uninspired. It's just a curved, roundish blade. There are no decorative touches, and I think they could. They could put a little hump on the back, or a little bit of a harpoon at the tip. This just doesn't feel all that creative in the knife design, but I think I beached about that enough. Next thing, H1 steel. Look, it's great for salt, but it doesn't have amazing edge retention. You can put a great edge on it, but it is far from permanent. Not going to be a great choice in the long term. And by the way, that serrated edge is going to be very difficult to sharpen. And some might harbor resentment buying sharpening rods specifically for this guy. I mean, whether that's going to be okay with you, whether you're willing to get in there with a little sharpening rod like this to sharpen this up, only you can say, but that's going to be a problem for some people. And then finally, on the bad side, I'll be honest with you, this is a little bit impractical for everyday carry. This knife was built for a specific purpose. And an actor like Mickey Rourke will have absolutely no use for this. So unless you're trapped in a net or something, this won't be bailing you out of any bad situations. If you are just looking for a basic knife, I think you need to filter this guy out of your search. Because, just not that practical. So, that's, to me, the bad, is that it's a bit impractical for everyday carry. The serrated edge will be difficult to sharpen. H1 it doesn't have amazing edge retention. The design's a bit uninspired. It's pretty big, both for carrying and for shipping. And there is no sheath, and it is $120, which is a fair chunk of change. On the ugly front, look, this originally out of the box has no handle. Guys, come on. I know that it's designed to be lashed to a pole, but they're leaving the regular E.D.C crowd in the lurch here. I mean, Knockwood Blades made this handle, and honestly, it's fine, it works okay, but I don't know why you went orange rather than blue or gray, or maybe half black, half white. That would have looked killer. I mean, guys, come on. So the fact that they didn't ship one is just, it's completely and totally ugly to me. That's ridiculous. Come on. So anyways, final conclusion, this is a very specialized knife. I mean, seriously, it has a particular situation. It is not going to be for the podcaster in the world. It's not going to be for your archers and other forms of bowhead. It's not going to be for your average bride-to-be. No, this is a purposeful design. The beak of form follows function. And it is an excellent rust-proof choice for a very specialized task. Mind you, some will blubber about the price, about the size, the lack of sheath edge holding, the lack of handle. Sure, those are going to be issues for some, but honestly, this is going to be a gem. It is a nice little piece. It is perfect for emergent cetacean disentanglement. And look, if that is a common situation in your life, then this little knife will 100% serve you well. So there you go. I hope you found this interesting. Have yourselves just an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.